And everyone, I should say who I am. I'm not Claire Penny, boo, but I'm Dave Philp. My name is Dave Philp. I'm Chief Value Officer at Bentley Systems, but I'm also proudly, Alan, I should say, part of the CETA board as well. And for me, CETA is hugely important. And, I think we've been in, a real journey. I mean, this is the CETA BIM Gathering 2025, and it's the 7th gathering over the many, many years. I think the first one I came to was in 2013. And I should say, this was the gift that Alan and Susan proudly gave me, this fine pre-marked tie, Alan, so thank you. With her. Yeah, and I think one of the things, when we do the gathering, for me, it's much more just the technologies. I always think it's quite a pivotal moment in the year. It's a bit of a pulse check, isn't it, to see where is the Irish construction sector generally on your journey towards modernisation, digitisation. And I think it also gives a few clues as well for the broader sort of Irish built environment. And indeed, I think it gives a wee clue for society itself as well. And I was looking at what I saw this morning and probably what I've seen in the last 10 years in terms of what's needed. And Claire mentioned this morning, I think probably 2 words, it's probably ecosystem, but I think convergence. I think we've seen, if you like, things like digital engineering, the likes of Midland Steel, the journey they've been on, BIM becoming a key component of the value chain. You look at the work and we'll see more that John Sisk is doing, in terms of digital rehearsals, but also now starting to see in terms of, things like artificial intelligence, starting to see in terms of automation of processes as well, coming through as well. But I think the big thing is these things have been with us for many years, but they're no longer operating in silos. I think the big thing we'll see over the coming couple of years, and I think CETA is really helping that, is that unified ecosystem that Claire mentioned this morning. They're reshaping things. They're reshaping not just how we design, how we deliver and operate, but things even in terms of business cases. And even think about in terms of not just the technology, but how it's transforming the business processes as well. How we do it better, but also doing better with the infrastructure we already have. It's not just the new big glamorous capital projects, but how much of Ireland would you say you're in for? In the UK, it's 99.5, the infrastructure already exists. So it's not just how do you do better with what you're building, but how do you do better with the built assets we already have. One of the things I see when I come across here, I like to think Scotland's in terms of leading in innovation, I think we are, but also I think Ireland is really leading as well, I think in terms of embracing innovation. And I think this afternoon's session, no pressure on for the speakers, but it's going to reflect, if you like, that spirit. And some of the themes that we're going to be looking at this afternoon, it starts off the range of the shift for looking at construction at a project level to thinking more and more about manufacturing at a programmatic level. Kits of Parks, Dale's nodding, which is good, so it means I've got something right there as well. To think about smarter futures and delivery integration of advanced BIM tools, but also in terms of thinking about the data as well. And also start to think in terms of the public sector adoption as well as part of that larger narrative as well. How do we build it better? How do we build it safer? Still doing it sustainably as well, but also think with the end in mind in terms of asset reliability. And I think the big thing is more of a focus now on outcomes and outputs. And I think that's a big thing as well. The big thing I'm seeing as well, not just here in Ireland, but maybe across the globe as well, is, the convergence is helping us move. I started as a young contractor back in the day, sort of thing, as I say. We work very much in silos. And I think the big thing we're seeing now is, we're starting to connect, if you like, the value chain. And I think the decision making we're seeing is moving, if you like, from reactive to proactive right the way through, from isolated data to shared insights. And I think the big thing is empowering better collaboration in terms of what we do in terms of all disciplines. But please, one of the things I do hope you take away from today is, the human side of this as well. It's still about, we can change the technology, we can change process, but we have to think about change management in the people and the culture around about. So to me, it's as much a human story as well today. Digital infrastructure, has to be powered by an advanced society and how we can start to create more safe and resilient communities as well with better pre-manufactured value deals. So that's good as well. And I think the thing is not just about the future, it's about the now as well. And that every day of integration with BIM and digital tools, I think it's already seeing in terms of improving project outcomes. And I think one of the big things that I've seen as a regular visitor to Ireland over the years is I've seen real public sector leadership in terms of setting the tone for scalable and inclusive digital adoption. And again, when you look at BIM in Scotland, our mandate was not just do BIM, it was about making it, if you like, in terms of different levels, in terms of not every project is the same size as there. So as we begin this afternoon's session, I invite you to think and think boldly as well about your own journey that you're going through, to challenge your own assumptions, to connect across the disciplines as well, and collaborate, innovate, and deliver value through digital means. But let's now turn to our keynote speaker. And I think I've warmed up. Hopefully you've now got a tone of the Scottish accent within there. For the young, handsome, his words, Dale Sinclair. And Dale's going to be talking about, as I mentioned, construction programs, projects to manufacturing programs. Dale is head of digital innovation at WSP globally. And I've had to think of a fun fact about Dale that I know as well, just to make sure you will see it on stage. Dale makes his own shoes. He's got a farm up in Scotland, and he takes some of the shoes, the skins off the hair. So you'll see them. That's my fun Dale fact. So Dale, welcome to stage.